I know you're going to ask me questions about, narration in languages other than English, which was involved in my
Yeah, I think that's a
latest
fascinating
project.
little plot. Yeah.
Oh man! And I was sitting and directing each of those, um, you know, narrators in language. And because I know you'll get this, but you're sitting down, you don't understand what they're saying, right? But
Mm.
I've got the English version of the story, so I'm
Mm.
tracking the story, and I can see where they've lost confidence or where they're kind of like feeling like, oh, have I got
Oh, how
it
fascinating.
right?
Isn't
Just
that great? Yeah.
and you can
Yeah.
see it in the lines, and you can also
Yeah.
see it in in their body language. And so I go, did you feel happy about that? And they go, no, like I really feel like, because I was saying, I think this is an imperative sentence. It certainly is in English.
Mm.
And that's the interesting thing as well, because some languages are sort of like very staccato languages. And
Mm.
other languages are much softer and sort of rounder.
More
So I
flow. Yeah.
don't want to mess with that,
No.
but certainly I want to mess with, let's get this right.
I
So
love that.
it's interesting.
That's a really wonderful observation, I think, because I haven't I'm sorry, I have had one children's book where we did it in both English and Mandarin.
Yeah.
And there was a lovely English speaking Mandarin gent. So English was his second language, but a beautiful English speaker and presumably a really good Mandarin speaker as well. So once we got through the kind of technicalities of doing the translation from English into sorry, excuse me.
I know,
From
I've
Eng-
got that cough.
there we go.
Is it
No,
long
just
COVID cough? It's like,
no, it's just a bit of fluff.
oh, right.
Just something off the dog, surely. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just talking myself out of getting a cold there, Maria.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. No, it's
The
just that since I had COVID, I've had this low-lying cough.
Yeah, I know. I've heard a few
Why?
people have had that. That's kind of long COVID effect. Yeah, a bit nasty.
Yeah.
And I was working with a narrator in the
Mm.
in a couple of months ago. Yeah, and poor old Emma just had to suspend recording for about 3 weeks while she got
Yeah.
over it, and then got over the thing you get over, and then you get over that. Then there's the long
Oh,
one, and you get over the long one as well. And I thought,
mm.
wow, for somebody who makes money out of their voice, this has been quite a bit
That's critical.
devastating.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
was I talking about before I started
Oh,
coughing?
yeah. We were talking about the in-language stuff, and like even before that,
Oh yes,
about the
thank you.
trends, like coming from those two areas. You came from
Yeah,
outside in, I came
I've
from
got you.
inside out.
Yeah, I'm up with you. I'm up with you now. The the last point we're on there was yeah. So this lovely young Chinese gentleman, he'd done all the translations because I mean things have to work in the vernacular as well, particularly with something like a children's book.
Totally. Yeah.
And it was just fascinating to actually be with him and be in those recording sessions. And that's where I'll compare myself with your observation too, is I could tell by the expression on his face or the tone. So things like hesitation, for example, like they translate into any language.
Yes.
And I hadn't
Yeah.
even anticipated that. So
Yeah.
I can really sort of hear how you feel, that you can tell by the attitude of the person as to whether they were comfortable about what they just done. So isn't that, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a really interesting observation, Maria. Thank you for that
Yeah.
one. I reckon that's a
Mm.
beauty. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really good.